After a longer than expected wait, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is finally here. First episode of the show premiered on Disney Plus on Friday, March 19th, and while it's been nearly 2 years since Avengers Endgame first premiered in theaters, the story and some of the major plot points therein are still having an impact on our heroes Sam Wilson, the Falcon, Anthony Mackie, and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan.
James, I asked you a question. Are you still having nightmares?
Steve Rogers, Chris Evans' closest friends never were top tier in the Avengers franchise, but it looks like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is aiming to change that. Here we have a mid-season review of and story breakdown of Falcon and the Winter Soldier for you.
Good of you to join the fight, Sam!
From its opening chaos to its closing reveal, Marvel's second Disney Plus series set in the MCU isn't exactly subtle. Its mission is to replicate the movie's big screen success on smaller screens at home, and its first episode doesn't deviate from the established plan. Directed by Carl Skoglund, Netflix's The Punisher, Epix's Condor, the show looks like Iron Man, lots of flying, blended with Captain America, lots of American iconography, which is exactly what you'd expect from a show bringing together two supporting characters tied to each hero. Falcon, like WandaVision, places us once again in the wake of the events depicted in the 2019 film Avengers Endgame. In WandaVision, loss had driven Wanda, Elizabeth Olsen, into a sort of prison within her own mind. Here, Falcon's inner turmoil seems to bear less collateral damage. It's all on him. As played by Anthony Mackie, the superhero, also known as Sam Wilson, retreats within when confronted with, say, the loss of Captain America, or the expectations placed upon him, or even the realities of his family's tenuous finances, as explored in scenes with his sister, a wonderful Adipiro Oduye. He turns down the opportunity to publicly carry on Captain America's mission and hoist his shield, leaving a vacuum in the role at precisely the moment the nation needs it most, and recedes from questions about Steve Rogers or about his own future. Meanwhile, one-time villainous super soldier James Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan, is in a sort of comic book character therapy. He's attempting to build a structure and a set of rules that might help govern his need for revenge on those who controlled him.
And what about rule number 3? The whole point of making amends is to fulfill rule number 3.
We see Barnes in treatment and see, too, that he is something less than rigorously honest in his claim that renouncing violence is part of his therapeutic process. Fake Captain America wields a pistol in addition to the shield, which we guess shouldn't surprise the audience since Marvel Comics readers know Bucky also sported one during his time as Captain America, but it's still such an alarming visual. Similarly shocking as seeing Batman shooting guns in Zack Snyder movies. But whatever one thinks of Captain America's gun, it doesn't really make a difference. All 4 of them get them kicked, and the Flag Smashers get away. While Marvel fans may know John Walker and Lemur Hoskins, these are new, annoying faces to Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes in the MCU. Buck goes to Sam to yell at him about allowing this to happen, but the more level-headed part of this duo says he has to go deal with the Flag Smashers first.
Besides, I have bigger things to deal with now. What could be bigger than this?
Lemar Hoskins isn't new either. As he's played here, Hoskins has long been John Walker's sidekick. When Walker was the Super Patriot, Hoskins was a bold urban commando, or BUC. Yep, Hoskins essentially became the new Captain America's Bucky, later changing his name to Battlestar. Some of the most interesting thematic elements of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are starting to emerge, particularly the concept of heroism and how it's perceived by the people who need heroes to save them. The world needs costumed super people to fight the androids, aliens, and wizards that threaten it, but Sam Wilson wasn't ready to be the #1 hero. His reasons for turning down Cap's shield last week were a little vague. He simply said it belonged to someone else. But the writers start to dig into some potentially interesting ideas in this episode, with the introduction of Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly, this week, a black Captain America that Sam and Steve never even knew about, and who was disowned and abused by his own country.
They put my ass in jail for 30 years. They taking my blood, coming into my cell.
Even in the world of Marvel, black heroes are treated differently. In the closing sequences of Civil War, we see that Bucky had agreed to be frozen in cryostasis in Wakanda until scientists could figure out how to sort out his brain, remove the Hydra triggers, fix his missing memories, etc. According to Marvel's Avengers Infinity War Prelude, a movie tie-in comic that showed what everyone was doing before the movie jumped off, Shuri developed an AI algorithm to help fix his mind. He spent the rest of the intervening time living in Wakanda, coming to grips with how he was used. We haven't seen much of that time besides the mention in that tie-in comic, but it's a pretty safe bet that someone with Bucky's special skills and backstory spent some time with the deadliest warriors in Wakanda. And those deadly warriors definitely carry a grudge. Bucky had been framed in Civil War for the death of King T'Chaka, but the real perpetrator was Baron Zemo. By the end of the movie, T'Challa stopped Zemo from committing suicide, handing him over to the authorities for imprisonment for his crimes. His escape is probably not sitting well with the royal authorities of Wakanda. It remains to be seen what comes next, but whatever it is, it's probably not going to be fun for Zemo, or Falcon and Bucky for that matter. Currently, Falcon and the Winter Soldier has kept audiences hooked with interesting plot and character development. Sam and Bucky's quest to find the source of the super soldier serum brings them to a lawless land and puts them back in touch with a few notable faces from the MCU. What are you thinking about the show? We are loving it so much that we decided on bringing a mid-season review for you guys. Let us know in the comment sections what you think about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Meanwhile, we're working hard to bring quality content for you, so make sure to like this video for similar content. And if you don't want to miss our future videos, subscribe to our channel and hit on the bell icon so you can get notifications each time we upload a new video.